Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Jonathan Coast, and in today's free training, I'm going to be talking about off-page optimization and how to find high-metric PBN backlinks that all have a diverse portfolio of C-class IP addresses. And the reason why this is important is because you can get thousands of backlinks from a seller on whether it be Black Hat World or SEO Clerk, and they can all be coming from the same website with the same exact IP addresses. Google will actually ignore the rest of the backlinks and only focus on the most powerful backlink from that server. And that's kind of why we want to avoid sellers who sell from websites that are just Web 2.0, because there's an extreme finite amount of these sites. And that means typically they're all selling from the same exact IP address. Because like I said, the problem is Google is going to ignore the vast majority of those backlinks and only focus on a few that have the most powerful metrics. So you might get 1,000, but Google will only focus on like 3 or 4 of them because they're the most powerful of them. So we want to make sure that we have a diverse portfolio. So I'm going to share with you tools so that you can take the sample that you receive from a seller once you get them, and then you can just throw it in this tool, and then it'll let you know if they're all using the same C-class IP addresses or that you have unique ones. I'm also going to be sharing with you an SEO checklist that we can go through, and we're going to use in this video just to make sure that we have the best chances for ranking in the search engines using this off-page optimization strategy. Once you go through this, you just want to make sure that we're focusing on contextual links, because these are typically the most valuable links that Google looks at. And another name for contextual links is editorial links. So for an example, contextual links is basically links that are weaved into the article for your promotion piece or your content. So now I can do a lot better job. This is an older post here of highlighting and having more H1 headers and H2 headers. But just for this example, as you can see here, these links right here, and tools and resources, this is what I mean by contextual links. So they're editorial, they're weaved into the post. And so we want to make sure that we get these because they're the most valuable. And then we also want to make sure that we're focusing on do follow links, because these are the most valuable as far as like ranking in the search engine. So in this strategy, we're just going to be focused on do follow links because there's really not much value directly from getting no follow links. The only real value that you can get there is indirect. If someone sees your comment, your blog comment, and then they click on your website from someone else's website. But as far as like the SEO metrics and the juice that you get from the engines, there's really no value in getting no follow links. So we're going to be focusing on contextual links and do follow links, and then we want to make sure that it has a low OBL, which stands for outbound links. So if you get a sample, and if we're getting backlinks from a server or a private blog network with hundreds of or even thousands of outbound links, then what's going to happen is Google's just going to divide this SEO value on that page, and we're pretty much going to get like 0 to no value for SEO purposes from that server. So we just want to make sure that the seller, they're giving you backlinks from a private blog network or a server that has low OBL. That way we're getting the best bang for our buck here. And then we also, as I said earlier in the beginning of this video, that we want to make sure that our backlinks all have different unique C-class IP addresses. And I'm going to share with you a couple of different websites here. One's a bulk SEO checker, and another one's the same thing, where you can put your sample report or your backlinks in. That way we have a diverse portfolio of backlinks, and they all have different unique IP addresses. So, and then the next one's going to be high SEO metrics, and I just want to talk about that real quick. So this is just a great way to measure. So in regards to SEO metrics, I have it here on this SEO checklist, and keep in mind, you can find this same checklist in the description below. All you got to do is just click on, there's no email required. It's going to take you directly to this Google Docs. But DA and PA stands for domain authority and page authority. And TF stands for trust flow, and CF stands for citation flow. Now, trust flow focuses more on like the quality of the links, and citation flow focuses more on the quantity, how many links this website has, the citation flow, and versus the trust flow. And me personally, I put more weight on the TF because you can have thousands and thousands of different backlinks. Because like I said earlier, Google can ignore the vast majority of them if they all have the same IP addresses, or they have the same C-class IP addresses, or they're on a server that all have like a bunch of outbound links. It's like a high OBL. So one of the extensions that I'm going to recommend to you is called Mozbar. And if you click on it twice, you can find it in Google. Just type in Mozbar extension. I also have it in the description here. It'll tell you the page authority, and it'll also tell you the domain authority and how many backlinks that a website is getting, or just a particular page. And so that's how you can tell on the domain authority and the page authority. And also, I believe if you upgrade to premium here, it'll give you the citation flow and the trust flow. But that's what I mean by high SEO metrics. The higher the trust flow and the higher the citation flow, more so the trust flow and the domain authority and page authority, the higher the value of that backlink. So that's what we're focused on here. So just to recap real quick, we want to make sure that they're contextual links, they're do follow links, it has a low OBL, they all have different unique C-class IP addresses, and it have high SEO metrics. Now, in this case, we want to make sure that we are sticking to this criteria, because when we go to websites like Black Hat World or even SEO Clerk, um, when we go to a seller, we can actually send them this message here. And again, I'll have this on the SEO checklist, but we're going to be asking them, "Hi, I was looking at your offer. I have a couple of different questions here, and we want to ask them, well, are they Web 2.0 sites? Because there's an extreme finite amount of Web 2.0 sites. It's like 100 to 300. And if the seller is basically selling backlinks from a Web 2.0 site, there's a high chance that they're all selling links with the same C-class IP addresses. So you're really not going to get much bang for your buck. And then the same thing is kind of we touched on in the first question is, do they all have different and unique IP addresses? Because if they respond back with no, they're all using the same, then we don't want to do business with that seller in that case. And then the number three is, do you actually own the private blog network, or are you just a reseller? And the reason why we're asking this question is because if they own their PBN, then that means that there's a higher chance that they're using different unique C-class IP addresses. And if they're a reseller, then that means there's a more than likely a chance that they're going to be using a private blog network, the same one someone else on that website. There's a chance they're all using the same C-class IP addresses, if that makes sense. All right. So I'm going to have this in the description. This is a very valuable checklist. Just go through this checklist here and then use this as a resource. And then you can use this kind of copy and paste and just send this to sellers that you find on Black Hat World. Now, if you go here, I'll have this in the description as well. Say if you go to the main page, all you really got to do is just go to the left-hand side where it says marketplace, and then you go to SEO link building, and you can type in backlinks here in the search bar, or you can just scroll down. And the first couple of pinned posts here are just from the website. They just want to either be advertisements, or they just want to kind of give you a heads up on any type of announcements. So you just scroll down, and then once you get below the pinned post, you'll find people selling different types of services. And you want to just go through here, you click on any one of these, and then read through and see how you feel about their offer or their service. And then, but what I recommend is if you go all the way to the bottom here, just click on 36 in this case, all the way to the back, you'll see the most latest post. See, today is Friday. So the last time someone posted was on Tuesday, and he's asking for a sample. Now, once you get a sample from the seller, you can go to websites like www.ipreport.com. You take that sample report and you put it in here, and then typically what's going to look like, the sample is going to look like this. It's going to come on an Excel spreadsheet, and they'll give you the links, they'll give you the IP addresses and the domain authority and the page authority and what the ranking is. And you can take that sample, you can put them all in here. And then you can also use a website like this. It's called Bulk SEO Checker. And then they'll give you the trust flow and the citation flow, and just the statuses is in regards to the IP addresses. And this is a very useful website, and this is a great way to gauge and measure or not on the credibility of whether or not these are backlinks that you want to be buying, or this is a seller that you want to be buying from. So I recommend coming to a Black Hat World, and you can try SEO Clerk, but I personally recommend Black Hat World over that, but I'll leave that in the description anyway. And that'll pretty much be it for this video. So yeah, just to recap, basically I talked about how to find high metric PBN backlinks and how to use this criteria system that we have on this checklist to gauge on the optimization, and just to make sure that we're getting links that's going to give us the highest chance of ranking on the first page of the search engine, is to make sure that they're contextual, they do follow links, they have a low outbound links from the server, they all have unique C-class IP addresses, high SEO metrics. And then I have this resource here so that you'll know what these terms mean in regards to DA and the PA, and then the TF and the CF. Again, that's trust flow versus citation flow, which is quality versus quantity. And then you can use this swipe here as a way of asking the sellers to kind of keep yourself safe. You can say, hey, I was looking at your offer, and then just have a link to their listing or whatever their offer is and say, hey, I have a few questions in regards to your service. Are these Web 2.0 sites? Do they all have unique IP addresses? And are you a reseller, or this is your own private blog network? And then I also share with you a couple of different resources here that you can use to just basically just put the samples that you get from them in here, just to fact check, kind of go behind and just double check, make sure that the links that you get from their sample is a good pull. And that way you'll know for sure if these links are worth buying. Okay. All right. So yeah, that'll pretty much be it. If you like content like this, then I highly recommend that you check out my website in the description, jonathancoast.net. You'll see it. And also make sure that you look at the tools and the resources below. I'll have everything that I shared in this training here. And with that said, I will see you in the next video. See you then.